So in the last lesson, you learned how to actually find backlinks from your competitors. But let's take a look at the whole entire LinkMiner tool so we can try to get the most out of it, okay? So once we type in a website, let's always click on all. Unless you're consistently tracking a certain website like month after month after month after month, and it's your competitor website, and once again, the whole point of tracking your backlinks is not to track your own website's backlinks, it's to track your competitors' backlinks. That's where we find the opportunities that we can take from, okay? When you enter a website domain, you always click on all unless you're constantly tracking that website's backlinks. New will show you all the new backlinks. Lost will show you all the dead ones, okay? Or any backlink that is effectively lost, right? And I can click on that and I can see what these links are, and they can provide them for me, all right? But most important thing here is to take a look at all the other resources because they do help. So whenever I click on one of these links, right, it will show me a preview as to how the site looks on mobile. I can know if the website is mobile friendly or if it's desktop friendly. Now, why does that matter? Why does it matter if it's mobile friendly or if it's desktop friendly? Well, that makes a huge difference. If your website is a mobile friendly site and it does not optimize for desktop, which most do not, but most optimize for mobile, and they're okay with desktop. I wouldn't say they're optimized, but they're okay. You have to focus on what websites have that preview. If you look here, if I go to this mobile site, right, the mobile view, and to this site, it's called zootons.ae, this is not mobile optimized, right? So that means I could tell if they're getting any kind of organic traffic, they're coming through desktop. Google will give them mostly desktop traffic only. And I have to look at my desktop site. Is my desktop site desktop optimized? Or is it mobile optimized? Or is it both? If it's both, great. Then I can use these guys as a backlink and I can go in my process to then request for it, whether I have to pay for it, request it, etc. But the point is that you have to see how is that website optimized. Is it optimized for mobile? Is it optimized for desktop or both? Because if your website is only optimized for mobile, then it wouldn't make sense to get traffic from here because nobody's coming through here through mobile anyway. It's clearly not an optimized site. That makes a huge difference. It's very important. All right. Of course, this is self-explanatory, but this is the load more button where you get to see more different, more links for each site. Sometimes websites could be smaller, but can have a ton of links. Like Bang Energy, for example, they had a smaller site, but they had tons and tons and tons of backlinks. And then you have sites like Squat Wolf, which have, a small amount of backlinks. 561 is really not that much. Okay. Here we have a citation flow, we have a trust flow, we have referring IPs, referring domains, and active backlinks. So let's take a look at what each of these mean. We'll explain them, I'll read them to you, and we'll move forward that way. So citation flow. Citation flow is the score, okay? It's the score of how well is it cited, meaning how well is it is the website link, how well does it receive the links? You could think of this as a backlink score, okay? And then here you have the trust score. So the trust score just simply represents the websites that are backlinking to this site, right? Does it receive a lot of trust? The trust score is low here, which if this is very important too. A lot of people overlook this score. Why does this matter? If a website can be as successful as Squat Wolf and have a low trust flow or trust score, then that means that you, as a newer site, can improve your trust score very small but have great success. You can see this trust score is not high. The trust flow is not high. The websites that it's coming from have not that high trust. So you look at this, and by the way, what is trust? What is the trust score? It's really authority from a domain standpoint, okay? Not from a content standpoint, but from a domain standpoint, meaning they have strong ranking, they've been around for a while, things like that, right? And this is not a Google-made score. This is just a score from an algorithmic perspective. We look at some of the trust flow scores for other sites. These guys have low scores. You have zeros, 10, 12, 6, 2. These are low scores, but yet Squat Wolf is so successful. So you look at a site that could be small, very successful, and with a low trust score. What does that mean? It kind of further proves the point that backlinks is just one of the ranking factors. Of course, they're intertwined with many others, but it's just one of many. There's many things you have to focus on a site. You have to focus on optimization. You have to focus on engagement. You have to focus on design. You have to focus on content. You have to focus on keywords, alt image keywords, text. You have to focus on headings. You have to focus on so many different things. There's a list of a million things you can focus on, which is why I say contribute a certain amount of time to the project, and you could do really well focusing on that project and then moving on to the next thing. And once again, if you haven't already joined the ebook, the Cash Cow Niche Sites ebook, to pick the profitable niche, go ahead and join it. Not only do we show you how to pick a profitable niche, but I show you how to monetize the niche as well. Okay, so picking the perfect niche for your blog ebook on Cash Cow Niche Sites. But let's go ahead and continue. So after you understand that these websites, your competitors, can have low trust scores, low citation scores, and yet still succeed, it's time to look at some of those backlinks, and especially ones that drive or are derivative or traffic derivatives, meaning they provide traffic as their secondary traffic, meaning somebody's come to their website first, they read the article, whatever, they take the recommendation, they come to your website secondarily, okay? Referring IPs. How many IP addresses refer squatwolf.com? How many? A website, I can have a website, right, on one IP address, which is exactly what it is. And that one website can refer to another website 15 times, but it's still one IP referral. Now, why does this matter? Well, really, backlinks are measured in terms of Google eyes more through a success through IPs than just the active number of backlinks. Put it this way. If I have two websites, one has a high domain score and one has a very, very low one, let's say like a 0 in Google's eyes. Let's say it's brand new. And let's say the one with the 0 score has terrible content, but the one with a lot of content and it's been around for a long time has a great score. Let's say it's an 80 out of 100, which 80 is very, very good. I mean, you're coming on the likes of multi-million dollar companies, right? When you get that high and you provide backlinks to that other site, let's say you own both of them, when you provide backlinks to the other site, it's only referring from one IP. Google looks at that and takes that into account. It's not like you're, for example, if I have 40 backlinks, they're not going to say, okay, 40 different websites have given this website backlinks, so they have 40 backlinks. They're going to look at it and say, okay, there's 40 links from one IP. That just means they have a strong partnership with just one. And that's different. That's different than saying that you have 40 partnerships with 40 different websites as opposed to one partnership replicated 40 times. Do you see what I'm saying? There's difference to that. And you can see here, there's 561 backlinks total. Now, the referring domains, why is the referring domains different than the referring IPs? Is because you can have multiple domains on a single IP. What tends to happen is somebody who has a website in a certain niche typically tends to create more websites in the other niche. Remember what we talked about when we said the Pareto principle. What is the Pareto principle? 80% of the results come from 20% of the work. In the case of SEO, 80% of the websites that are live, successful, and making money come from 20% of the owners. And somebody who has, for example, a fitness website, they're going to create multiple fitness websites if one is working. That's just the way it is. That's how winners run businesses. And what happens is they'll have multiple sites on one IP. So you have an example here of 202 domains, or aka websites, on the same IPs. That's why there's less IPs here. And backlinks is just simply the number of those links that are routing back to that site. That's all it is. So I can have 15 backlinks from one IP and one referring domain. I could also have 15 backlinks from one referring IP and 3 domains. Okay? So hopefully that's very clear and easy to understand. And if you can kind of utilize this tool, like I said, to find those open pathways to capture backlinks, it is gratefully helpful, really helpful. Because it is one of those ranking factors that you can tackle pretty easily. Just sometimes you can reach out. Now, something I'll say about backlinks is that not all links do you have to reach out for. In fact, there are strategies out there where you don't have to call for backlinks. You don't have to ask for them. You don't have to do any of that. You just simply write amazing content and people will backlink to you back. However, if you're a newer site with no experience and no support and nothing like that, it might be wise to go out there, get a few backlinks, every now and then, and keep writing on the content, keep doing all the other work so that you can have a greater rank over time. That can happen. All right, guys? So hopefully that lesson was extremely beneficial. Let's go ahead and keep going into the course.